I don't want to go home.
Why do you have
out here?
Dude, I don't want to go home either.
The San Diego Nuggets? Let's do it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast.
Yeah, let's go. Boom, boom, boom.
Live from our Airbnb in La Jolla, California. Beautiful little rooftop deck we have here overlooking the ocean. Vibes are immaculate. We are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. We just had our final day of training camp, which was really just a walkthrough of a game for tomorrow. It is. Adelman was right. It isn't training camp. It's 3 days of practice and a walkthrough.
That's right.
But it is over, and there are some takeaways. There's some interesting quotes here. I feel like I have learned something about David Adelman, how he communicates, the subtext beneath what he is saying. And only I understand it. Of course, I couldn't be wrong in reading into it, so we're going to get into that.
He's a super observer.
He is.
And you're a super listener.
I'm a super. Well, that's not true. That part inaccurate.
Dang,
for sure.
you guys are so impressive.
But you're the super taster.
I know. Right. We're all part of a team. You know what I mean?
We have like all of our senses together. I'm hearing somehow. Brennan Votes here.
What's going on, guys? Another great day in paradise. Woke up early, went for a walk. Looked at the seals, and no person on earth is better equipped to enjoy them than I.
Than the seals, really?
Do you know why?
No, because you can't smell.
You cannot smell.
Well, only for another week, buddy. Only for another week. You're gonna curse yourself with the sense of smell.
I've thought about that. I don't
Really?
think I want it. Yeah, but breathing is important.
And breathing is important. Over here, I got D-Lanco.
That's right, guys. I also learned to seize the day. I woke up early, walked to Starbucks.
You got a good walk.
We had coffee here, though.
I know. Adam pulled out. We have this at home.
For the
He's
house.
like, we have coffee at home. And I was like, I want Starbucks. He was like, we have McDonald's at home.
We had the coffee this morning. I was doing the math on how many scoops I was supposed to put in. I probably did it wrong because it was like 37 scoops.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think that's right.
Adam has a very laissez-faire dad approach to cooking.
I just wondered what I felt like was the right amount.
Adam cooks with love, but it's really more like contempt.
Rounding out the show, the cool one, Superstar Dev.
The thing is, on both of your stories, I heard that you guys got up and walked.
Yeah.
Which my question is, why do we do so much walking if you guys already did your walk? Because I feel like that's all we do. When we're together, all we do is walk.
Yeah, Dev's out on this.
Yeah, me and Dev have the same relationship to walking. What are you guys doing?
We found this beautiful, Kayla and I found this beautiful narrow passageway down to the water, palm trees, hotels people are getting married in. And Dev's like, do we have to go back up these stairs?
Dude, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Well, at the top, they didn't even think about it. I'm like, hold on, wait. It's 2,000 steps.
Do you guys know, even like I called Dev because I had to take a call, so I went with you guys. I was like, hey, walk on up. And he's like, there's a road down here if you can find if you guys drive down here. So I did.
That was clutch, actually.
Yeah, that was the best thing. Why are we having to walk back up if you have to come get us no matter what?
I mean, you make some very good points. The Denver Nuggets were at Pechanga Arena today, which we learned was or is, in fact, owned by the Cronkies. How weird that they just own an arena in San Diego.
That you just go to a place you like. It's like you know somebody, and then you just go to a place. You're like, wait, you own this town too?
You own San Diego as well?
It's like your summer house. That's our summer house.
Yeah,
they probably own so many things out here. It's not just the arena.
Yeah.
Which was crazy how many workers they had at this arena. It was like a mini Pepsi or ball arena.
Yeah. I mean, I think every arena probably has to have a staff, if that's what you're surprised.
But that wasn't like a real. What do they do there?
We don't know.
They film Almost Famous.
Well, they host the Denver Nuggets, who are the home team tomorrow against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So they will be out
Wait,
tomorrow.
does that mean again? Are we home?
We're the home team. We're home.
Are we? But that means we're home.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is DNVR Nuggets HQ for the week. So they had just like a light shoot around basically today. David Adelman said they went over things like baseline out of bounds. Actually, this is what I love about David Adelman. Did you catch this? I don't know if you guys caught this. They didn't go on sideline out of bounds plays. They went on over low sideline out of bounds plays.
Low sideline.
Because sometimes you get the up top, you're whatever, but when you're low, you kind of have to stack the deck a little differently. I'm telling you, this man is a details machine.
Attention to details. Yeah, that's what it's about.
So on this show, we're going to give you kind of we're going to step back a little bit, give some big picture things that we're wondering whose names have popped up the most, whose names have not popped up at all over training camp, which may or may not mean something. A little stock report, and then, of course, we'll talk about the game tomorrow. His name has not come up.
Son of a bitch.
But we did talk to Cam Johnson today. Got some Cam John,
friend
our
of
guy.
The show, Cameron Johnson.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, dude, we're on a first name basis with him, Cam John.
And I have some things here I'm going to pull out just to kind of talk amongst ourselves, if you don't mind. He was asked, what was the most fun part, so far of training camp?
Please say the podcast. Please say the podcast.
That would be hilarious if he was like, it's the SEALs? It's all of this different place. He said, just watching plays unfold, watching actions unfold, watching the communication and how that unravels, and, just feeling like you're on the same page as the other four guys on the court and hoping that carries over and we build on that. I like it, man. I tried. Sometimes you lead a guy to an answer because you think a personality. And he didn't really take the bait when he was on our show. And I said, what are some of the things you love? Because I suspect a guy like him really enjoys when everybody kind of feels that harmony because he's kind of that guy. And this is what he says here. What have you enjoyed the most? When everyone's on the same page, when you're on the same page with all the four guys.
Dang. Do you think we'll ever be on the same page?
No.
That's what I like doing about this show, to be honest with you. There is when we're in a groove, you're kind of like, man, we all got it.
Yeah, I think
we're that moment right there, right?
No, I was not.
Looked away from me.
Yeah.
When it comes to Cam Johnson, I think that everything about him is about process. And I think that's when you talk about Michael Porter Jr. and you talk about Cam Johnson and the differences, it's always – they say the high IQ. I don't think it's just that he's smarter. I think that it's just about the process and how it goes there. He likes how things come together, and he wants to make sense of it. He's probably a math guy. But it just seems like that's something that would make sense to him is trying to, put the pieces where they're supposed to go. And that was the answer that he gave today was, I just like how it looks when – we start something and then it comes together. So I really that's what I've noticed about Cam Johnson this entire time is he sees the small things.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most unique people I think I've ever spoken to. There's a lot of ways to interpret it, but he's just no one I've ever talked to before. Just the way that I don't know, the way he speaks about a sporting endeavor, I've not heard in such a calm, analytical way before.
Very calm. I would actually say that is one of the things that's kind of funny. It's very calm.
It's very calm. It is. He takes a second to internalize and think, and then it's. You're right. I haven't thought about it like that. Even how he speaks is not too high, not too low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He definitely likes math. You're right.
He probably does like math. Any young guy that stands out, he was asked that question. Who did he say? Drum roll, Kale. Hit the drum roll.
What did he say?
We have the drum roll on your computer. Kale, do you have the drum roll? I was going to say, if you have a drum roll on your computer, that would have been so crazy.
Can I answer?
Who is it?
Jalen Pickett.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Wow. It's like you're reading his mind. They said Jalen Pickett has done a good job of kind of controlling the second and third units when he gets gotten in there and competing, but for the most part, everybody has been really good in camp and doing their job and doing what's asked of them, whether it's knocking down shots or playing defense or rebounding. Guys who have come in, paid attention to detail, which is big. I only mentioned the Pickett part here. It is nice. I feel like everybody has gotten, not everybody, a lot of guys have gotten shout out. Pickett's maybe gotten 2 or 3, not a ton, but it is kind of interesting when Cameron Johnson comes in and shouts out a third stringer.
I don't mean this in any way to be backhanded. This is a true compliment. I think Jalen Pickett's probably a great training camp player. The Nuggets, obviously, the actual true ball handler thing, right? They only have so many. There are certain lineups they want to try. To have a guy who can come in and run things for a second or third unit, and maybe Jamal doesn't have to be strained in those responsibilities, probably very helpful for them. And then just a smart guy, right? So this is about, with little time to prep, knowing where to be, knowing how these actions should look, knowing what the plays are. And Jalen Pickett brings that on both ends in abundance. So him standing out in this phase is good to hear. It's also not surprising.
I was talking to somebody with the Nuggets the other day and about Jalen Pickett, just, hey, that's a guy I like, whatever, and trajectories and stuff. And he goes, oftentimes a player in the NBA, you look at their past trajectory And you go look at Jalen Pickett. He goes to, is it Sierra or Siena? I don't remember which school it was, for 2 years, a little lower level school or whatever. And he goes 1 year and he's good, and he goes next year and he's great, and he's too good for that level. So then he goes up to Penn State and he's very good, and then after that he's All-American. So it was like he really had this like steep where it was like it wasn't all at once. It kind of just like was level. So I was sitting there thinking, that would be great if he was a guy that, hit scaling his game up doesn't happen just at one step. But it's like, no, he was first 2 years his Siena years, and then now he's ready, he's kind of stepping in. So I just thought that was interesting to think about players in terms of their arcs, their previous arcs, and whether they'll echo.
Yeah, but he also just it's his understanding of the game in basketball. And even if you listening to that story about him going up, it's about being comfortable and getting that opportunity and making the best out of that opportunity. He was a young guy that didn't get much time, the last couple of years. But he's reading on how to play or, when to make the right pass or how to take care of the ball. And then you bring in a guy like Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson is with one of two guys. He's either on Jamal's team or he's with the second unit where Jalen Pickett is running the show. So he has a guy that is a dominant ball handler that, can score, but also he's going to get you involved. And then you have a Jalen Pickett who probably is going out of his way to make sure everybody is happy because he wants to stay under the radar, but also prove who he is in this league. And he wants to earn more minutes. So it was great for Jalen Pickett to get a shout out for somebody like Cam Johnson, who also is like a cerebral player, but also is about process. If there's one player on the team about process, I feel like it would have to be Jalen Pickett because he's not getting it off of athleticism. He's not this explosive scorer or, just this knockdown shooter, but it's about process and playing the right way. So that was a good pull for Cam Johnson. And it shows that Jalen Pickett's probably getting better this year.
You know who it makes me think of, though, this theory that we're talking about is Julian Strawther. Because if you think about his college career, he came in and was an understudy. Like, he went to a good program, and he was 3.4 points per game his rookie year, or his freshman year. Sophomore year, he's good. He's in the rotation. He's starting. And then after that, he's the star of the show, getting 15 points. And his could also kind of mirror this. Like, if you think about it, he came in and was a non-player. Then he was, okay, you're in the rotation, but not great. It could be that this is the year it's like, hey, man, that you're on us. We can look at that echo, too, and say he's getting comfortable and things slowing down for him.
Or even, and I would hopefully so, you look at the new competition around him. Julian is a guy who has learned how to be patient and wait for his time. And he said as much in the past when they would send him to the Grand Rapids. He would tell us that he doesn't mind that, right? He's going to go get the most out of that because he had to wait at college and then he had quite the run. So this is a bit different insofar as in a potential scenario where maybe he goes backwards in playing time a touch or not. But I don't think he's someone who's going to look at the Tim Hardaway signing and go, get me out of Denver, right? I think he's someone who knows that this is part of the process. I
think that's a really good note because you're right. Some guys might not like that path because they've never been on it. And he's like, I've been through here again, and it worked out great for me, so I'll do that again.
But with Julian Strawther, in talking to Adelman after practice today, it seemed like he really challenged Julian Strawther in this training camp of show me something, but also show me something that's not only scoring. I feel like that's been the biggest thing for him, and he talked about it. He was like, we want Julian, the next evolution and to make him better is he going to be able to get other people involved? Is he going to be locked in on defense? Those are the biggest knocks when it comes to Julian Strawther. And can you trust a player who's not playing good defense, who is taking, errant shots and only can score the basketball? So it looked like in the little moments that we've got to see is that he's being a point guard. We want you to go make some decisions, but we want you to also run the offense and be a part of that. So I feel like Julian Strawther was challenged. Seems like he's stepping up to that challenge because he has been getting shouted out for the last couple of days.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, the thing that I find so interesting about following basketball in a long-form way is like these stories where people do get better. Like it's always so funny to me when people like just assign a rating to somebody like this guy sucks especially when they're young. Some guys never figure it out and they get worse, but most guys get better. They just, the game, you hear the cliches, like the game slows down. They're thinking about it. It's not just trying to prove their worth. They're actually starting to be strategic. I don't know. I've been saying, like, I really think that this is going to be a big year of growth for Julian Strawther, and I love to hear that that's starting off so early.
We talked to him in a second, so I want to circle back to him because I agree with you. And he's just a likable guy, and that's one of the things I want to get to. The last thing I'll say with Cam Johnson here is he said that Jokic had one pass to him that caught him off guard. That there was only one pass. Because I was hoping there's maybe – sometimes we heard these stories of Jokic in practice. It was like, hey, if you saw the passes he threw there, that's the good stuff. And it doesn't sound like it was totally that, but he did say there was one pass that Jokic rifled, a no-look to him that he kind of bobbled. And he's like, I felt bad because, like, I like that. Now I know, got to be ready for it.
Didn't he tell us that on our show?
He might have. I think
should go back and double check.
I think he did.
He did, yeah.
But he did both. He talked about it today too. But also, I think that he's been in the league so much, and he's also seen so much of Jokic's passes that it's not a surprise to him anymore. So I think that as new guys come on the team, they're kind of used to that. I think that throughout the season, there's going to be a lot of times that he is going to say, like, wow, that was incredible. But right now, I think that he's just trying to stay ready and trying to learn the flow and the offense and the continuity and keep that going right now.
I mean, it's funny, like in some places where you probably just have to stay ready, but, like, you don't actually expect the ball. You're like,
yeah.
And, like, here it's like, whoa, what? You have to actually be ready all the time.
Cam Thomas probably never caught him off
No,
guard.
dude, he's like, I
wasn't better be ready. He might pass it to me here. Probably not, though.
He probably caught him off guard every single time. Whoa.
Yeah, holy crap, did you pass it this time? We did talk to, it's funny you mentioned Julian Strawther because we talked to him as well today. And the first note I have here, what part of your game are you emphasizing? Somebody asked him that. Oh, for me. By the way, his speech crutch, we always learn these. His is, oh, for me. He says that after.
Okay.
I wonder what mine is.
Not the worst one,
Not
there
the
are
worst.
a lot of bad ones out there.
What's it called?
I like when people.
We have two people at our office. Their speech crutch is, what's it called?
And you're like, you tell me, man. You started the conversation.
You started a sentence.
What's
with
it
that.
called? Lake Titicaca.
That's what came to your head.
Oh, that's not what it's called?
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, sorry.
Very deep lake. What part of your game are you emphasizing? He says, oh, for me, it's just being a solid, dependable player. I mean, that's the main thing I want to accomplish is, be someone that Coach Adelman and, put in and rely on, cut down on mistakes, and be more sound on defense. What I like about this is there's a hidden truth in here because this sounds like a generic, I worked on my all-around game. But what he's really saying is solid, dependable. I think Julian Strawther is a guy we're all like, man, when he's hot, when he gets that floater going, it's great. And I think he's looking at it and go, yes, elevate my floor so that I am solid and dependable. And then sometimes I'm on fire.
Hey, look at last postseason, a guy who you probably wouldn't say was dependable and so wasn't in the rotation, but then they needed a spark in Game 6. Which, I mean, if they won that series, fellas, Game 6 is no small footnote in Julian Strawther's career. So, but having said that, I like the answer because earning playing time is going to be about consistency and whatever his duties and responsibilities are. And they have too much talent to sort of say, all right, we're going to rely on Julian to maybe get hot tonight, right? So if he wants to be a regular fixture, I think he's taking the right mindset.
Yeah. Another quote here from him. Here's one thing that will be a storyline, maybe pop up here later on. What excites you about the second unit? He gave a longer answer, but he said, I feel like we gelled really well. I think this is another recurring theme that we've heard out of that second unit. Of course, it's a full-on 5-man second unit here in camp. It'll probably be a 4-man plus 1 stagger when we get into games. But I feel like that unit has gelled. I mean, that's one of the things that I feel like we keep hearing is that it's like, yeah, man, the pieces fit. It's not a bunch of guys going out there and trying to do something. It's like we work together.
Yeah, I think that comes with, again, I think having Valanciunas with that unit.
Yeah.
You have traditional big. You don't have people stepping into roles. Right now in training camp, you're not seeing staggers. So, like, you're seeing that group all together. And then also it seems like everybody has had the conversation of what they need to work on or what they're trying to, push to the forefront for everybody else to see. So, like, right now I think that everybody's focused, but you're able to see people do the things that they're supposed to work on for it to work. But that has been a reoccurring thing. The bench has been the biggest talk of the entire time because of how many guys they have. That depth really matters.
So I love that you brought up Val here, because the next question was, someone asked how big is Val for that group, and he said, it's huge to have someone that's dominant. He's just dominant presence. His ability to score in the low post kind of takes pressure off of us guys. If we're getting hounded on the perimeter, I'm super excited to play with him, especially coming off of screens, getting wide open off of them. To Dev's point, I think one of the things that the bench has not had, and this has been a criticism of Jamal Murray, is a North Star. I think Val represents a North Star of the second unit. We play through him. And then they all kind of it's not a complicated North Star. It's like, hey, man, we love it because when he has the ball and we run off of him, we're open because he's enormous.
Yeah, I think what Dev said makes so much sense, is that there's nobody whose role is they're trying to figure it out. Everybody kind of knows what they're supposed to do just through a traditional construction of a unit.
I think there's one guy.
I agree. But
to your larger, I think your larger point stands.
But I think that helps you gel. I think that helps you, just kind of everybody knows what their role is when they're on the court.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. We're going to continue talking. Julian Strawther had some more good stuff about his off-season workouts. He had something on Peyton Watson, and then, of course, David Adelman. And then later on, we're going to play. We're going to do a little stock report. Some names we keep hearing, some names that pop up.
Let's go,
We'll do all that on the other side.
I think we have 3 of these in the fridge right now, if I just did my math right. Miller Lite, baby. Miller Lite.
Make that 2. You took longer than I expected.
My fault. It's October 3rd. You really can't tell that summer's technically over here in San Diego. Okay? No matter where you are, no matter what season it is, Miller Lite, it works. It's a light beer, and it's still got that essential quality of a beer that you need, right? You can only experiment so much. You can only take so much out. Yeah, beerness.
A beerness
has to be there, and beerness is there in Miller Lite. But, of course, as we know, it's light, and it's been that way since 1975. The original light beer, still iconic 50 years later. Grab yourself a Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you.
You know what? Friday night in La Jolla, I might have a Miller Lite or 2.
Kale, go get us those Miller Lights right now.
He's
by the
producing
way.
the show.
Oh, yeah.
Later.
Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs for 12 ounces, fellas. And let's keep it rolling and talk to you about our good friends at Toyota. Really good friends. I've told you guys this before, and I know it's a little uncouth to brag, you know what I mean, into a microphone. But
do you think this podcast has couth?
I'll say it. I'll just say, I'll come out and say it. I wore my official Toyota Nuggets themed socks to the airport on this trip.
Bro, that is a little uncouth now that I hear it.
They should be ready to go in the dryer right now so they're clean for tonight, which is awesome. But that socks is not what you know Toyota for. You know them for vehicles like trucks or low and zero emission vehicles. In fact, they have more of those combined than any other automaker, giving you, the customer, numerous choices to reduce your carbon footprint. Do yourself a favor. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. There's AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle, DNVR. Let's go places.
All right, we are back here, segment 2. Everybody throw us a like if you're enjoying the show. By the way, where are we at tonight? Shore? What is it called?
Shore Rider.
Shore Rider. We're going to go down there. We're almost right after this.
Show your rider.
So if you're down in San Diego, want to come talk Nuggets with us, we're going to be down there. If nobody shows up, we'll talk to each other.
And if you do show up, all of our breath will smell like Miller Lite. But just one Miller Lite that we all split.
Which is not that bad. The sponsors also wanted us to tell you the smell's not that bad.
Yeah, and a big shout out to our guy Mark Fine, by the way, one of our benefactors,
Dude,
man. Super first teamer.
He's a real one.
Threw us a little bone for us to enjoy ourselves.
He's like
in
the
San Diego.
Medici's to the.
He is the Medici's of the DNVR Nuggets. We have enjoyed ourselves thanks to Mark Fine, so shout out to him.
Hope Hawaii's nice this time of year, Mark.
I imagine it's nice every time of year.
Yeah.
Julian Strawther, how is your summer work paying off? He says, all facets of my game, I feel stronger. I feel more confident in my game. I'm kind of just letting things come to me. I'm not trying to force anything. I just want to be a sound player this year. Again, echoing this thing, sound, reliable. And I like that because to me, it's like last year was his, can I push it to show what I have? And this is the year like, okay, now I have to become reliable.
In the context of the Denver Nuggets, if you have like young guys that are trying to flash and you have Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray on your team, like that is not, you're not here to flash. Like
Not at
I
all.
love people having that right mindset and just like or sort of understanding. And it's not like they are being less than. It's like this is an amazing opportunity to be part of a well-oiled machine, and that we can win something here. Like we can really win something here. So I love that, man. Guys coming out with the right mindset. I mean, Cam Johnson would tell you can't know from the first day of training camp whether or not you got a squad. But my God, man, if you have a squad that says the right things, and we do.
Yeah, that's, by the way, a recurring theme. Everybody's like, we're kind of doing the like, things seem good. It's like, yeah, man, it's day 3 of training camp. It does feel very good, but
I know.
what can really be known? He was asked, Julian was, of Peyton Watson. He was asked directly, and he said he's taken a leap in all facets of his game. His mentality and his approach to the game is the main thing that stands out to me. He's being super aggressive and super vocal, and he's super happy to see that. He was asked about it, so I don't know if it counts as a shout-out, but he was asked directly about it. David Adelman. I actually asked them this one because, I said this on the show, and I think this is the guy you were going to mention about everybody kind of knows their role, and one guy is maybe sliding into a new one. Correct. And it seems like he's handling the ball role. And I'm going to read this full quote because I think it's very interesting from David Adelman. Is it a meaningful style change for him from what he was last year to this year? He says it has been. I think he's always been a guy we've looked at to bring it up at a timeout to initiate the offense. He's always had the ability. You can see that he's sharpened it and that responsibility. We'll see if it goes there. If it does, he's shown that he can do it, and that would help our second unit when it flows with our first unit. It's nice to have another guy that can rebound and push the ball. And not push it, but make good decisions when he crosses half court. So give Peyton credit. He's had a really good mentality about him all 4 days. That has to continue when things don't go well, and that will be a challenge for our team. Nights when we play different kinds of lineups, different styles of basketball, are you patient enough to know that your turn is coming next? I think this is a very revealing answer.
It's so bizarre. I still can't picture. You guys have seen it. Like, when I think about Peyton Watson getting rebounds and pushing the action, I'm like, oh, God, is he going to miss the layup? But, like, I can't imagine him as a ball handler. But from everything that I'm hearing, I guess I should reframe my thinking on Peyton Watson because that's just, like, not even a world that I imagine him living in.
I do think this is also provides a little bit of clarity on what we talked about yesterday, which is, again, I don't think it's not calling Peyton Watson a point guard, right? It's something Peyton Watson talked about last year. He said a point of emphasis for himself, grabbing rebounds, pushing the ball up the floor so he can make some reads. This is what he's talking about, right? Either out of a timeout or grabbing a rebound, maybe occasionally in the half court, but just giving him that responsibility to, as he says here, quote, not just push it, but make good decisions, end quote.
I think this is a good for Peyton Watson, though, because it puts him in a new space that I feel like he wanted to be more of, not being that big man or having to play, power forward spots because he's not that. He's more of a 2-3. So now if they're talking about him in this light of putting the ball on the floor, putting the ball in his hands, letting him create, but also push the pace, going down and rebounding. So it's still playing towards his strengths, but also being able to step in and be that versatile defender. So I think that this is a spot, if I'm Peyton Watson, that I'm like, okay, I'm going to be able to finally showcase who I am or the things that I think make me special. This is an opportunity for him, so he has to take advantage of it while it's still there.
To me, this is something that is very natural for Peyton. Everybody has skills. I don't think he's a great shooter. I hope he worked on it because I do think he can become like some guys are not naturally great shooters and they make themselves into good ones. I think that could be him. That's what you're hoping for. But I don't think he's a great shooter. And that's what put him in the corner, space the floor. I do think he's a good passer. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a pretty good ball handler for his height, which is a really, really tall guy. So to me, it makes sense to say maybe he shouldn't be the finishing point, but can you use him more as like a slasher who also can catch the ball off a dribble, handoff, and attack. Like, we don't want him to just catch and shoot or get it back to the end. No, get him downhill and see if he can make the extra play. So to me, I'm kind of excited for that. But here's what I love about it. So he's talking about it's something we've known, and yes, his role is different this year because we're going to lean more into that as opposed to just sticking him in the corner. But here's what I love. coaches love, as guarded as they are about what they really think or really feel, they still want you to like think of it the way that they think is most important. Because my question was about, was it a meaningful change? And how he ended his comment was, that'll be the challenge. That has to continue when things don't go well. And that will be the challenge for our team. It'll be nights where you play different lineups, different styles of basketball. Are you patient enough to know that your turn is coming next? This has nothing to do with the question that was asked. And yet he brought up the he's been great. And some nights he won't get to do it. But I hope that he can stick with it. And I kind of feel like this is where Peyton is in a tough spot, man, because he might not be an every night kind of guy, although I think he'll probably play every night, but he might not be every night you get to handle the ball and do stuff. And the question is going to be, that's tough. That's tough if some nights it's, hey, you got a lot of pick and rolls, and the next night it's like, hey, you had to get to the corner.
Yeah, but that's what the role is for Peyton Watson, that especially with this unit right now. What is like the calling card for Peyton Watson to stick into this league? We don't know. It's going to have to shift. You're going to have to be a guy that can audible on the fly, even when things aren't going your way. So I'm glad that Adelman said it before the season starts to just prepare him in his mind of it is going to call for defense a lot of times. It's going to call for you to be the guard. It's going to call for you to have to sit in the corner and shoot threes sometimes. But are you still going to continue to do that? And also, when things aren't going your way, are you going to pout, or are you going to continue to play hard? Are you going to continue to bring that energy? Yeah. So, talking about it in training camp, I think that helps. When it's game 60 and you've already gone through that, it's going to help in game 10. But also show it right now so that you feel confident going into it later in the season. So this is going to be a year that is going to be taxing on Peyton Watson because he's going to be pulled in so many, directions. But also, he needs that because the Nuggets are going to need that.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say really organically that I wrote about this on the DNVR.com yesterday.
So organic. It's so organic.
Dang, that's so organic. But I mean, listen, it's we're going to find out, if Peyton Watson, he seems super mature for his age. Just in speaking to him, he just has a way about him that just feels older than his actual birth age. But there's a thing about whether or not you've actually matured to the point where you can recognize things people are talking about and actually see it and actually not get frustrated by something, people are explaining to you what the larger role would be. But even if you have a kind of a youthful look, it's everything is in the moment, and growing up is sort of seeing the larger thing. So I'm hoping that he has, like Julian Strawther, hopefully, like a lot of these guys, they have taken the next step mentally in their life and they're able to find their role in this team. And then ultimately, if things are going well, it's going to go well for you as well. It's going to translate. So I love that. I love all this stuff.
Talking more with David Adelman, he was talking about a lot of it made about this defensive change, and we've been hinting at it that the fulcrum of their defense now is Nikola Jokic. He is the quarterback of their defense because he has to decide what coverages they're going to run in pick and roll, and it's on his brain to be quick on what type of player is it, what decision do I make, and then what kind of coverages ran behind that is really triggered by Jokic and the decision he made. And he said, we was asked about this, and he was asked, basically somebody asked something about playing drop more, and he said there's many levels of drops. He won't be just at the rim like he's Rudy Gobert, but it's just looking for maybe a little bit more down the floor, a couple steps down the floor, and more I think that we're trying to create with him. He's so IQ. We're trying to create is the Marc Gasol model, where he's choosing his level depending on the quality of player and what the player does well. So we all know his IQ is high, but we have to work on that and allow him to work in practice. I like this because we say Jokic a high IQ player. We're mostly talking on the offensive end, and he has quick hands. He does this stuff. Adelman's almost doubling down and saying, you're so smart on offense. Now I want you really thinking the game on defense in the same way that you do there, because everyone has to read you now on defense.
Yeah, I mean, what's Jokic's best skill that might translate from offense to defense? You could say hand speed. You could say IQ. So how do you leverage that? It does seem like, as you contrast that with different approaches we've seen in years past, okay, why not? Why have they not been doing that?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably kind of complicated for the rest of the defense, right? Across 82 games, if you don't necessarily have this set structure of Jokic is making a live read. Now we have to make a live read off Jokic. So even if it seems like a small tweak, there is some ambition in it, right? In that you're kind of introducing another variable into the where should everyone be conversation.
But I feel like I mean, we talked about it with every other player, but it seems like everybody came in with a challenge of something that they want to learn, and it feels like for Jokic it is defensively because I mean he's one of the best offensive players that we've ever seen. But now it's like pushing yourself defensively, and also you have to communicate. You have to trust in teammates. You have to trust that teammates are going to get you. So now you're reading Jokic, and we all know that the Nuggets go as Jokic goes. That's going to be on both ends of the floor. So now you're going to have to both be on the same page of, oh, Jokic on this play is, going over the screen. Now I have to step into help side a bit more. Maybe he's dropping the screen. You have to set the screen or go over the screen and push him inside. Like, it's going to be on Jokic to be able to communicate, but also he's going to be engaged the entire time on that end of the floor as well. So I think that this is also a step in a direction for Jokic and the defense, but maybe bringing in new coaches who are emphasizing those type of things. So maybe Jared Dudley right now is being tasked with that, that job right now. Maybe he's making him think about it a bit more. So I really do think that this is just like a new thing that they're trying to learn with him. But if Jokic is better defensively, what does that mean for Denver?
Well, and specifically, this is why I like it, is we talk about Jokic likes puzzles. He likes new challenges. And I do think about, I think he's a smart defensive player. I think he's a high IQ player. But it seems like Adelman's trying to push him now to no. We need you to be what you are on offense now on defense. Like, you are now the Marc Gasol model is put all your brain power to that. Yeah. And it is a meaningful way Jokic could be better. I don't know how exactly it would manifest itself, but it would be cool to this year. It's a storyline of Jokic's really quarterbacking the defense this year.
It would be amazing, to see what he does if it really is what he does on the offensive end, on the defensive end, and it's just as impactful. He's yelling at guys, and somehow Jokic is part of the most effective defense in the NBA, and everyone's like, well, I don't understand. He sucks at defense, and they can't wrap their head around that, as a center, you don't have to only – what just happened?
Did just get bit or stung
The most
or something?
Adam thing that's ever happened. Just his legs destroying the set.
I was attacked by nature.
I thought dude. Well, you need to look in the mirror and figure out.
A lot of wires around, man.
Yeah, if you're having the right relationship with nature. But that would be crazy. That would be insane. And it doesn't seem at all far-fetched. Jokic just doesn't – he'll never meet you at the rim unless he, is in a place where he knows he's not going to pick up enough fouls to foul out. But that's what he's figured out. It's you get, as a center, you pick up fouls if you contest at the rim. Yeah. And so he just doesn't. But if it gets to the point where it doesn't matter, beautiful.
Defensive changes. I asked him because I'm kind of curious the NBA really is two leagues. It's the regular season and the postseason, completely different. And I asked if these defensive changes are more.
I would have said the East and the West.
It's also that. Slice this pie a lot of different ways. But he said that basically the long and the short of it was that he thinks a lot of this came from the postseason. You're not making changes necessarily to win 82 regular season games. What is it we're going to build towards the playoffs was the gist of what of what it was. But one thing I will hone in on here is he says, you can tell the guys believed in it, and their belief is more important than all the ideas they can come up with. It's all about them and what they say. We're going to do this. We're going to do it hard, and they have so far. And I like that part of it. It's they have this new defensive identity. And he says, by the way, it started last year. We started putting pieces of it in, and the guys believe in it. And I like that because I do wonder if there was a little bit of a lack of belief in their something about their system where it was I know how this ends. And they're bought in now of okay, that's how we are great. All right, let's work towards that.
And they will keep trying different things. And that's what I liked about that quote, True, is a good reminder that they had started doing that already. It kind of felt like offensively there wasn't a lot of time to fundamentally change anything or install anything, but they did, if you will, junk up the defense a bit, and having time to iron that out could bear fruit. I think people overlook because it ended and they didn't win. Some of the things that went well in that playoffs, we thought that roster was unsalvageable defensively, right? Is this just scheme? Is it personnel? Is there any one trade they could make at the deadline that would even help? And then they tried some different stuff in the playoffs, and largely, defensively, we're fine. Yeah. So maybe there's really something here.
Last couple of quick notes here from Adelman. He was asked about Big Val guarding Jokic, and he also added, he said, yeah, it's really good for for Jokic to have to go up against somebody so big and so good. And then he goes, but I'll also add Moses. Moses Brown. Yeah, Moses Brown. I don't know why I blinked there. Zeke Najee and Aaron Gordon. He said he's also going against those guys who are also testing him. Real quick, who was the anecdote on Moses Brown?
Yeah, so this is one that actually matched up with something I had heard from someone in the front office.
He's come up a few times this week.
Yeah. So part of why they brought Moses Brown to training camp is so that Jokic could train against a big, tall guy with huge limbs, right?
Because he's like 7'2". Yep, he's 7'2". He's massive, man.
Really long arms. And I have heard that Jokic was explicitly grateful for that. Like, he pointed that out as something he was glad they did. So you only get so much practice time in the NBA. And, like, okay, you look at the problem they kept running up against with, like, Wolves teams and stuff, and all the size and the length and the physicality, and then you go, okay, well, who are they practicing against? And it's Dario Saric and Zeke Najee, who are small. Yeah. So they have Jonas now, they have Moses now, and they're hopeful that it allows them to better simulate some of the stuff they need to work through.
It's interesting. It's cool.
Kind of a cool anecdote. But I will tell you one name that was not mentioned there: Moses, Zeke, HE. De'Ron Holmes, which could be just a weird omission, but also when he talks about guys that challenge you inside.
It's
Moses,
the strength.
Zeke. I think so.
It's the strength, right? I mean, Holmes is, we saw even in that brief scrimmage, like if Valanciunas decides that he can't leave the ground, there's nothing Holmes can do. So I'm sure Jokic also has his say.
The last thing here, their game is tomorrow, and how much are the starters going to play? He says, I think our guys will play both games because they play Saturday and Monday. I mean, it's just a little wind, man. People are going to have to deal with our windness. Yeah, it did sound bad.
We have a worse wind on the show.
Zing!
Roasted.
Wow.
Boom, roasted. But he says our guys will play both games. And he said because we have an off day tomorrow or on Sunday because we're traveling to Vancouver. Then from Vancouver, we have an off day traveling back to Denver. So our guys will play. I think both games, which is kind of exciting for me, man. I think the team is chomping at the bit. Or
champing at the bit.
Or are they champing at the bit? I think they really are excited to kind of get out there. So I don't think they're looking at this as, we'll roll them out there for a quarter because it's game one. I think they're like, hey, let's use this as a real practice.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yep.
It's time for a break.
All right, cool. That's going to take us to...
That was a cool little detail we had there for a second.
I wouldn't call it a break. I would call it a very important word from our sponsors. Our friends at Game Time.
Game Time?
Want you to know that it's the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's very easy to use, and it comes with a Game Time guarantee, which means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Part of how it works is the closer you get to game time, the better the prices get, especially on those really great seats. And if you're one of those parties that realize last second, hey, my buddy's in town, my family's in town, you know what, I do want to go to that game. Open up the Game Time app, take a look at those prices. You even get a little preview window of what your seat looks like so you can make sure it's a good seat or not before you make that purchase. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets this autumn. Fall? I don't know what autumn is. College football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Tap Ticket Go. Download that Game Time app today.
Right now, I'm thinking about going to the CSU game. I'm trying to not think about it.
Yeah.
It's a game tonight. CSU is playing San Diego State tonight. Game Time app has it for $45.
Yeah, if you're listening, shout out the CSU football staffers that like the show. We like you too. Go
I mean, I'm wearing a CSU shirt.
Look at that.
Full on
How
homie.
neat is that? And you could go get to these football games. You could also get some skin in the game even if you can't make it with Bet365. Tons of cool football offers going on right now. There is a Thursday night football $10 safety net bet. So if you have a time machine, you could bet on last night's game. There's Sunday night football, no time machine required for this one. $365,000 jackpot. You can place a $10 bet on the first touchdown scorer and get a split of $365K in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game, payable regardless if their first touchdown score bets wins or loses. That's the Sunday night jackpot. How do you play? Glad you asked with the Bet365 app. Breaking news from Bet365, new customers can get $200 In bonus bets, when you bet $5 win or lose, sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be placed on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You have to be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please do gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Alrighty, we are back here. Final segment, DNVR Nuggets Podcast. I also want to shout out Red Hawk Roofing, man, the homies. You guys are wondering why we're staying in such a beautiful location, doing so many beautiful things, and
With
hanging
so
out
many
here
birds.
longer. With so many birds. By the way, everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Everybody went home. We're the last one standing out here. You know why? Usually we would be home as well, but Red Hawk Roofing said, no, we love the fellas. We're sending them out there. We're also doing a big project. We've mentioned it. Big season preview documentary that we're very excited about. What'll be coming out. They made it possible, so shut them out. Guys, let's do a little stock report.
Please.
The funniest stock report, because there really is. The stock market has been closed. It's not open, but we're still doing a stock report. But it's just things we're hearing. So if you were tuning in, you missed all week, and you want to know the general vibe, I'm going to give you one. Jamal Murray, stock up.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the team is very excited. His leadership has been called out. His conditioning has been called out as being very, very positive. He's been in great moods. I think Jamal Murray is one of the big winners of this. To the extent that you can have a winner, we're just making up things right now. I think that Jamal Murray is a big winner.
Yes, of course. Dude, if you don't own Jamal Murray stock and you're trying to buy right now, that's like trying to buy Apple stock right now. Right now. You're late, bro.
Which is, you should still buy it because it'll always go up.
You should buy it. But, I mean, Jamal Murray has been the focus of the Denver Nuggets for 3 years now. And he really is seemingly answering the bell at this stage in a way that you can't quantify. But, we keep hearing stories. Again, we saw him throwing a football. You know what I mean? Like, we knew that he was locked in. But, I mean, truly, typically speaking, Jamal Murray would just melt away, and you wouldn't see him again until the next season started. And, you'd hear people, just sort of whispering and complaining about this or that. And, I mean, I don't know if I'm just listening for it, but, I've heard nothing but glowing reports about the Jamal Murray conditioning, Jamal Murray's attitude, Jamal Murray's focus. It's just absolutely everything you want to hear. His stock could not be high right now.
Okay. Anything else to add?
No, I think that just piggybacking off of what Dylan said is, I think that it's more so of we've wanted to see this Jamal Murray in the offseason.
For sure.
So it's like heading into the season. Are you going to, be in shape? Are you going to, want to play? Are you going to want to get better? Are you going to be a leader? And right now he's answering all of those. And again, it's the attitude. He's, he wants to be here. He wants to play. He looks like he's, ready for the season. Yeah. That's the part that we have not seen. But we know what the peaks look like when it comes to Jamal Murray. But it's like, can he get there? What if he already starts there? Now he gets to reach maybe new highs. So I think that is just more about this is just a new approach to heading into the season for Jamal, that it feels like the ceiling is just so much higher.
I think he's the guy I'm most excited to watch tomorrow. I just want to see it. And, you go up against a team that it's preseason, man. It sucks to play the Timberwolves in preseason. I kind of feel like you should never play your division.
They have to play the Nuggets starters the whole time. We can't take an L. I don't care what it is.
It's just funny to think that it's the Timberwolves, because I wish this was the Hawks or something, and it's just like some team you're like, all right, whatever. Instead it feels like it matters, and it doesn't. But I'm excited for him. I'm going to say the bench is up. And we talked earlier about gelling and all this stuff. I think the bench, it's not about – you came into the year thinking, okay, can they survive the non-Jokic minutes to that? I think they're like a weapon. They're not a shield. Like, all right, Jokic out the game. Shields up, everyone. Just try to hold it through. It's like, no, let's pull out this dagger, because now we have a new way to get you.
I think you might be right. That one I'm gonna.
You're
holding my breath. Holding my breath for. But in the past, I wouldn't bother holding my breath. That would mean I'm not going to make it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not declaring them up. I'm saying stock is up.
I agree. Let me pick up. Let me yes.
You're like, it's not quite proven yet.
Yeah, he's saying no, but maybe.
It's like half of a point. And now I forgot the other half happened.
Oh,
unbelievable. No, okay. I am sold on them just being an upgrade, which I think on paper you could have seen it, but like I've heard enough to think, yeah, like this isn't like, okay, they got one guy and we're crossing our fingers. I think they have a bench. To be seen is what you're saying and what Jamal Murray himself has put to words, which is he thinks they can have one of the best benches in the league on a nightly basis. That's ambitious. I'll wait to believe it until I see it, but I think they have taken steps to put themselves closer to that, obviously, than where they were before.
I think it's identity, though. You know, to me, is really what I'm gathering here is that it seems like they're.
Yeah, they're not the non-Jokic minutes.
Correct. Exactly. This is actually the greatest way to put it, is that it's not the non-Jokic minutes.
Dude.
No, they're the.
Can you imagine you come in, like if, like at a day that you're not here, we're like, oh, hey, this is the non-Adam
non-Adam podcast.
This is the non-Adam. Welcome to.
Is it a non-Adam episode?
Let's bring the energy, guys. I know he's not here, but let's still try to bring it.
We're just hoping to tread water while he's gone.
But my God, dude, like the very idea that they're nickname-worthy Val Pals?
Well,
Valhalla?
Val and Pals?
Val Pals are no sale. That's it.
That's it. Sales final.
No sale. No sale. No drinks. Can't do it.
That's the thing I'm excited about, is it would be dope to feel like, I mean, the Thunder had this, is that their bench came in and it was like, all right, here comes Caruso. It's like the MFers unit. It'd be cool if it's like, all right, Denver, all right, you did fine against our starters. They're only up 4 on you, but here comes Val's Pals.
Yeah,
you better get ready for this.
Are you ready for a play date with Val's Pals, you little babies?
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and say the culture. I'm going to go ahead and say the culture's up. I just think this one.
Let's go.
Look, culture comes and goes. It can ebb and flow, wax and wane. Right now, it's up, man. I just think guys are excited to be here, but it's not just about excitement. I think it's professional. This has been a professional week, and even us getting excited, man. Like, we're way more excited than they are, because I think they're like, hey, man, we're here to work.
It's also there's not young guys that you're hoping that one of them pan out. Like, it's new pieces, but they're proven pieces in the league. You add Big Val. We already know what it looks like when Big Val's having good games, not that good games, but it's so much better than what they've had. We know what it looks like when, Tim Hardaway Jr. has it going on. Bruce Brown is like a known commodity. Like, they're all known commodities that they have on the team right now. And I think that's what the difference is. You know what it looks like. So it's not like expecting things and like maybe they could get there. It's like, no, let's put it together. Let's make it make sense. So I think that you have a baseline of what to go off of. We know what it looks like on paper. Now we just have to see it in the real game.
The last guy I have to shout out here, who I think is fair to say stock up, is Jared Dudley. I think that the defense has gotten shouted out. He's gotten shouted out a little bit. And then
he also gave us a food recommendation
Brother,
that was great.
You try to talk to these guys sometime. Everything's like, a little wall. Jared, he's from San Diego, so I asked him for a food rec spot for lunch today. I mean,
he came in so
First
clutch.
of all, some people you could ask. I think I could ask any city in America and be like, hey, man, I'm here. He had a spot immediately. It wasn't like, oh, let me think about that. He's like, you got to go to George's, man. Here's what they got. You're going to sit here by the – everything he said was true. We went there. It was delicious.
It was amazing.
Dang, I missed out.
No, you missed it. It was so –
I don't like fish, bro. I don't like fish.
No, it wasn't only fish.
Not really.
Lobster roll?
A little overrated.
You know what? You would have hated it, actually.
You might have hated it. It was
well, that's how I know that I liked it.
But I just think I think he is as advertised. I think everyone loves him. I think that he's brought a defensive terminology. Everybody's getting used to it, but also scheme and all this stuff. And I just think it's like his voice has been a welcome addition.
You know what? I just feel like there's been a huge injection of realness. Like there's nobody, like everyone's like mad real. You know what I'm talking about? But it's true. Like Jared, like none of these guys. You know, I mean, we had some Hollywood guys on the team last year. We had some people that maybe had an image that they were projecting at all times. We had sort of things that weren't always necessarily as they seemed.
Dimensions are going to be on fire
and
here.
Every person that's involved with the Denver Nuggets now seems really down to earth in the way that they just, are Adam Brendan's pulling out the Cavs.
We got a super chat.
Are you officially? Are you allowed to respond to requests on the internet for something to do on camera? And
only if it's nothing higher or lower than Cavs. I've decided.
Baby.
I don't think you're allowed to show your skin based on a request you get from the internet on camera. All right, well, fine. Anyway, that's pretty real over there, too. That's mad real.
Keeping it real for Josh.
I do think, though, that, Dev, that's one thing that I think is different. I think it's professional, man. And it's just that this group kind of knows that there's some of this is new coaching staff. I think some guys maybe felt safe in the old regime, and so there was a little coasting. And maybe some guys felt hopeless in the old regime, so it was like, well, what's the point of this? I think everybody goes in and goes, you know what? It's a new regime. We all got to be professional, head down, do our thing.
Yeah, but also they have guys in, the front office and just on the team now. Like, he talks about that realness. When I think it's brilliant for them to bring in a Barea and a Jared Dudley because they've been there, done that. You know what I mean? So you could go and say, like, Jared Dudley was never a star, but he was always a hard worker. He stayed in the league for a long time because he was willing to do the small things, because he was willing to work harder than everyone else. Same with Barea as a small guard that has made his way in this league and stuck in this league. So I think that there's like I respect that. But also Jared Dudley is very open, very vocal, very matter-of-fact and real to you the entire time that you're like, okay, he's not bullshitting me. He's not sugarcoating anything.
Totally.
He is on my side. Like, we all have met Jared Dudley a couple of times.
Genuine.
I feel like I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, he brings that type of energy.
I will say that I say this all the time, that I don't always want to hang out with the Nuggets or with different guys or this and that. Maybe it would be fun to grab a couple beers or something like that. I want to hang out with Jared Dudley.
He feels like a cousin or something, or uncle or something.
I think he would be great to hang out with.
But I think that every single player feels that as well. It's like he's telling you exactly what you want to work, need to work on, and you don't have to hide it for him. There's no ulterior motive at all. And him being the person that's teaching defense, he's so energetic that, like, I want to play defense for them. You know what I mean? Like, so I really do think that there's something to that. Then you have a new coach who's pretty matter of fact, but he's also about the numbers. Like, it's not, screaming in your face. It's not, I'm calling, you out in this way. This is like, how do we get better? You have, leaders in Jokic and Jamal who are quieter. Like, they're not out in public, like, talking about you and things like. So I do think that it's, with that new regime, it matches the intensity of the team. It matches the characteristics of the team. So I think that it's just welcome additions.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Don't you want to hang out with Jared Dudley? Don't you think 100%. He'd be like a great hang?
Do you think we'll see him at Surf
I kind of feel like today was close enough for me to claim it.
I know. Oh, that he's our friend.
He gave us a food rec and we went. Yeah. I'm just gonna tell my family.
Also, so great. Like, if you asked me for a food rec in my own kitchen, I'd take me a second.
You'd be like, "Have you tried the plain baked potato?"
Yeah, because I told him, it's my style. I eat what I eat, Eric. You leave me alone. First of all, it's a loaded baked potato. Yeah, but he had it right away, man. And it was La Jolla. Because that's where we're staying. I was like La Jolla, and he just knew right on it, man.
Adam asked for a cheap recommendation in La Jolla, and he said that's not.
He's like, you're going to get cheap in La Jolla. But what I will tell you, man, you got to go here. You're going to order this thing. You're going to sit here.
You're like, do you have any recommendations? Low recommendations for a poor person that could.
He's like, you know what? I can't even.
Well, sometimes you ask somebody for a recommendation, they send you to a place where it's like $300 a plate. You're like, bro, who did you think you were talking to?
Do you think that he was talking to you? He's like, all.
Well, I wonder what this guy. You're right.
Big budget over here.
He's like, let me talk to these millionaires that I work with every day. Oh, the podcast guy? Yeah. Let me give you the 5-star that I know.
Well, let me see. No watch, no belt.
Wearing the same shoes. Third day in a row,
you know what, guys? Shirt. There's a Dunkin' Donuts on there, for sure.
And the recommendation I'll give you is they throw out the day-old donuts at the end of the day. You can just get them for free and back.
In the back, yeah. Some names I have not heard this entire week. Names I have not heard. And take this for what you will. I don't think it means anything. Christian Braun hasn't come up organically. I mean, we've asked him a couple questions, for different things. Haven't heard a lot of Christian Brownness. But when you're asked about him, he's like, oh, he's just solid. He does everything right.
That's what I was going to say. My theory is that's because
set it and forget it.
He's just a bastion of consistency.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah. And you have all this change this year, all these new faces, and you're like, well, what's Christian like? I don't know. You guys know Christian.
Yeah. But whenever you do hear about him, everyone says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He knows where to be.
Yeah.
He just knows where to be at all times. Like, that's professionalism. That's, finding a niche and then just sticking with that. Like, I just feel like that's what it is.
I would guess that nobody had been calling out Jokic either.
That's true.
They're like,
there actually hasn't been a lot of buzz on Jokic.
Much at all.
It's kind of true.
Who's looking good? Nikola Jokic is out. He looks great.
Yeah, that's great. You know what is funny? Not a lot of buzz for Jokic. You are right about this. But it is like.
Add him to the list, honestly.
Add him to the list. Zeke Naji. Yeah. Haven't really heard that name.
This one feels a little more potentially meaningful.
Maybe. It would have.
Well,
it would have come up a little of like
been nice.
Well, he was training camp MVP, I think 2022 or something. So it doesn't mean much.
Nice.
Hunter Tyson, another name I just don't think came up one time.
Man, come on, Hunter. I really liked what I saw from Hunter in the moments that he's gotten to play. All of it is lower competition, though. Like, I've never seen him rise to the competition in the NBA. And I just hope he has it in him because he has talent. And it would be such a bummer if he just because he came in and immediately got a contract. You know now, if people following along, what that means. There's all of these guys, Spencer Jones, all these two-way guys that are just praying to get a contract. Yeah. Hunter Tyson got drafted, got a contract immediately. That apparently was Calvin Booth's philosophy and style, was to lock him in early. But he's been kind of coasting along with that. He's been under contract, and we know he can shoot the basketball, but I just don't know why he can't do it in an NBA. I mean, I know why he can't do it in an NBA game, because it's the highest level of competition. The speed is unbelievable, but it would be such a bummer and a waste if he never figured that out.
But this is the time that he's supposed to
That's what I mean.
make something, because right now he's supposed to be going crazy. He's playing harder than everyone else. He's diving for loose balls. He's fouling on every single play to make his stand. This is a time that he could have made himself, because what other time is there? There's not a way that they're we're down so many guys that it's going to be Hunter Tyson's time. So this is the time that you're supposed to make the most of it, and his name has not came up once. I forgot about him. Even while we were there, I don't remember him at all.
Yeah. Yep. The last two, Tamar Bates. We've actually heard Curtis Jones get shout out a few times. Spencer Jones has obviously been a huge standout. Moses Brown, we've heard some things. I haven't really heard anything from Tamar for whatever it's worth. Yeah. And then Deron Holmes, we were asked about him, and Adelman gave him some shine, said, hey, he was better today than before. But his name hasn't really popped up either as just naturally in conversation. So none of that means anything. It's just you kind of go through and are okay, I've heard this name and that name a handful of times. Those are the ones I don't think I've heard yet.
Yeah, I think that his timeline got actually extended a bit with some of these. These players that were signed. I mean, this year is going to be a year for him to grow as much as he can in the G League and just really get to the place where some of these vets that they signed for a year are going to go away, and now you want your next line of defense to step in. But I'm not that surprised. I mean, really, just based on he just didn't get a season.
The Nuggets they're a good team. They're a good enough team now that your rookie should be he's a future player, not a current player, and I think he's there. Doesn't mean he won't play this year. I just think the Nuggets have a pecking order that Julian's trying to punch up. Duran's trying to punch up to be the level to punch up in the rotation.
I hope that they don't even keep him around to I just mean as even as an emergency. I hope he gets run every day.
I think that's the plan.
Rather than him.
I reported
sitting
this
on the bench.
Monday. I believe that he will be a guy that is in the G League very early.
He'd be so ahead of schedule, you guys, after that injury if he was here and playing great, and we were hearing good things about him. So.
I just want him to get minutes. I just want him to get as much run as possible.
Yeah. I think that is going to happen. Man, that does it for training camp. Tomorrow we
have
a preseason game. Our first preseason game.
Hey. Dang!
Preseason with the fellas.
Bro, I can't wait to make so many outlandish
proclamations
based off whatever we see tomorrow.
I can't wait either, man. I think the Nuggets are excited for it. Kale, I want to give some shout-outs real quick. We did get
not
a
too
new...
Kale, though, right?
Not too Kale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Derek Asuras joined the MVP
Let's
Supporters
go.
Club. Let's go. You guys can join that by hitting the join button, $5. You get a free super chat with it after every month that you're there. You get that badge next to your name that updates the longer you're member, and then on top of that, you get all the emojis. Well, can we get a new one tomorrow? It's a preseason game.
I think so.
Maybe?
I think so.
You're in control of it.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And then we have some super chats. What do we got?
Yep. All right. Coming in from Ken Patterson says, can Kessler Edwards make this team and produce?
No. Can Kessler Edwards make this team and produce?
I think we can just keep it real and say no. I don't think anyone's going to make the team. I think they have that roster spot that they're not looking to fill at the moment.
His name also hasn't came up once.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, real quick, just one thing about the G League. There is new sheriff in town. Chad Hiskey is the new GM. He's been a scout. He's been with the Nuggets organization. I think we were talking the other night. Since 98, I want to say. I mean, he's been around the league. He went other places, but he started his first year out here as an intern.
It was a good year.
He was talking about Mike D'Antoni getting fired. That was his first week on the job, so it takes you way, way back. But he's the GM. Traded everyone. They've had the most roster turnover, he said, in G League history. Has completely flipped the entire roster, which is kind of funny.
The Gold?
The Gold.
Really?
Yeah, the Grand Rapids Gold had a complete. I mean, I think every year there's a lot of turnover, but
I was about
never
to say,
to the
but
degree they have.
Really, though, the thing is they're supposed to leave.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the goal is to get out
Yeah.
there and get paid and get a real contract and stuff like that. But they're going to have some mainstays this year. There's a few guys on the Nuggets that are going to play in that G League.
Yeah. And Kessler Edwards might be one of them. Jeremy J. Rock Michael says, I was supposed to be there. A concert in Telluride came calling. Nuggets break the T-Wolves curse. Big Val and P-Watt are going to dominate. Hashtag Adam rules.
This doesn't count unless they win, and then it breaks the curse.
And it counts.
But
Also, he said
they
hashtag Dev rules. Don't let Adam slide that in there.
Kill.
Hold on, you just put yourself there.
What?
Yeah, I see it on the screen. It
Yo,
does say Dev.
What do you
What?
Whoa, dude.
This me and my best friend, and you're going to try to ruin that for us.
Adam's putting every response through Chat GP me.
So dumb.
Terrible,
That's
man.
horrible.
What are you talking about? That was a good one.
Dylan Pounds. How long will it take for Cam to be fully acclimated? I mean, the answer is probably a lot of months. My belief is that immediately it'll be good, though. I don't think it'll ever be ugly and clunky, but I do think it'll be like a couple months before we feel the full power of this battle star.
Although I have to say, I am completely acclimated to living life in San Diego. I had a burrito earlier that I told Kale I would kill my own mother to have one more of
It's
them.
too dark when you do
Yeah,
that
I
on the camera, man.
And also, you could have just ordered a new one.
Ordered, yeah.
That's
You
it.
can stay alive.
You
Yeah.
can still go get
It's a little dark. Josh Barnett from Down Under. He says, fellas, you are at the beach. Unleash the Cavs. That's why you opened him up there to the show.
People
Josh
go to the Cavs for beach.
Also from
beach
Down
for
Under.
Cavs.
Surely some thongs, too?
Yeah, dude.
What you call flip-flops. Oh, I got it.
Important
Yeah,
clarification.
wow. I thought he was asking the fellas
Important
to show a little more
clarification.
skin.
Yeah. In a sense, he was.
I'm wearing my bird dogs.
One
we got
more, though.
Harlow in Alaska, my guy, man. Props RG on the travel logs.
Yeah, they're
JV, a large man. Adam, tiny next to him.
Yeah.
It's true. I'll be honest, man. I did talk to him for a little bit, and he gave me one of these, and it definitely felt like, oh God, this giant man could break me.
Did he call you something like big guy?
No.
Hey there,
no,
big guy.
No, I don't. His English is not that comes. So he kind of gave me a like. It was like a wordless walk away.
Dude,
I
love guys that have only communicated through physicality their whole life,
Yeah.
like Brandon Spano. And you're like, oh, hey, and he's like, ah, just shakes the hell out of you.
It's never happened to me. Adam Tiny next to him. Beer on beach equals best kind of beer. Hummingbirds, not insects. All the Nuggets are good? Question mark. Props to DNVR crew. Stonks up all around.
go.
Let's get it.
No one gets us like Harlow, including
Thank you, Harlow.
including people on this show. They don't get us like
They don't
I
get
know.
us.
Harlow
Nobody
gets us.
gets us like Harlow.
Hey, can I end the training camp portion
Please
of
do.
this on one
Please
note?
do.
I think we've really just glossed over the part where this property was sold while we're living here, and I think we have squatters' rights.
Yeah.
We do, man.
So just, I
If
may
there's a
stay.
lawyer out there that knows, we did literally get an email halfway through this that said, don't worry, your Airbnb, you're still fine to be in there, but ownership has changed.
Well, can we make we don't have to do squats, right? Because I'm out of
Yeah, we're not doing that.
So bad.
I know, you're really corny tonight. If you guys are in La Jolla or San Diego and want to come hang out, we're down at Shore Rider here. We're going to be there in about 45 minutes.
I just don't want to do any
And
squats.
we're just going to be hanging out, talking nugs
Doing squats.
to whoever wants to come listen. See you over there.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.